Resilience Rising. A tale of survival and hope. In the wake of the cataclysmic event that shattered our world, a small group of survivors emerged from the ruins. They were a diverse assembly, each with their own stories of loss and heartache, but they all had one thing in common: an unyielding determination to overcome the odds and rebuild their lives. This is the story of their struggle, their resilience, and the inspiration they found in one another as they forged a new path forward. The Last Sunset. The world had changed forever on that fateful day when the sun refused to rise. It was a phenomenon that defied explanation and plunged the planet into an eternal night. The air grew colder, crops withered, and the fabric of society unraveled. Panic spread like wildfire, and in the midst of the chaos, the survivors banded together in makeshift camps, clinging to the last vestiges of hope. Amid the darkness and despair, a small beacon of light emerged. A young woman named Stephanie, who had lost her entire family, decided to take action. She gathered a group of survivors in a dimly lit shelter and proposed the idea of a support group. Her vision was to provide a safe space for people to share their stories, fears, and dreams. Together, they decided to name the group Dawn's Embrace. They met regularly, forming a tight, knit community of survivors who leaned on each other for support and inspiration. Every member brought their own unique perspective and experiences to the table, and they discovered that strength could be found in their shared vulnerability. Stephanie, as the group's founder and leader, shared her own story of loss and her journey to healing. She spoke of her determination to turn the darkness into an opportunity for growth and resilience. Her words resonated with the group, inspiring them to open up about their own experiences. From a single mother who had lost her child to an elderly man who had witnessed the world change in his lifetime, they all had stories of pain and survival to tell. The group's discussions were a powerful mix of emotions: anger, sorrow, and fear, but also hope and resilience. They learned that it was okay to be vulnerable and that sharing their struggles with others was a crucial step toward healing. Together, they cried, laughed, and shared their dreams of a brighter future. The search for solutions. As the members of Dawn's Embrace continued to meet and support each other, they realized that they couldn't rely on hope alone. They needed to take action to survive in this new world. The group divided their efforts into different areas of expertise. Some focused on scavenging for food and supplies, while others worked on building shelters and creating a sustainable community. One particularly resourceful member, John, had been an engineer in his previous life. He used his knowledge to design a system that would harness the energy of the Earth's core, providing them with a source of warmth and light. It was a monumental project, but the group rallied around the idea and worked tirelessly to make it a reality. Despite the countless challenges they faced, Dawn's Embrace continued to grow stronger. As they shared their knowledge, skills, and resources, they became a thriving community. They planted underground gardens, constructed wind turbines, and scavenged for books and information to educate themselves on survival in this harsh new world. The group's unity was its greatest strength. They looked out for one another, ensuring that no one went hungry or felt alone. They celebrated each other's victories and supported each other through their defeats. The members of Dawn's Embrace were not just survivors, they were thriving and rebuilding a life together. Over time, Dawn's Embrace had transformed their underground shelter into a bustling underground city. The walls were adorned with artwork created by the group's budding artists, and the air was filled with the aroma of home-cooked meals. They had even started a school to ensure that the younger generation had a chance for a proper education. As the days turned into months and the months into years, the group's efforts to harness the Earth's core's energy began to pay off. They had successfully created a sustainable source of light and warmth, bringing some semblance of normalcy back to their lives. Their newfound energy allowed them to expand their community and provide a safe haven for others who had lost their way. Hope in the stars. One day, as Stephanie and her friends looked up at the starry night sky, they were struck by a profound realization. The world may have changed, but the universe remained constant, and the stars still held the secrets of the cosmos. With renewed hope, they decided to send out a beacon into the night sky, using their newly acquired knowledge of energy harnessing. Their signal reached a distant spaceship, a vessel of explorers who had been traveling through the cosmos when the disaster struck. They had observed the unusual darkness engulfing the Earth and had set a course to investigate. When they received Dawn's Embrace's signal, they were overjoyed to find signs of life on the planet. The spaceship, named the Hopeful Voyager, made contact with Stephanie and her community. The astronauts shared their own story of exploration and discovery, and they were deeply moved by the resilience of Dawn's Embrace. Together, they forged a partnership to bring light and life back to the world. The astronauts provided crucial information about the cause of the disaster and the potential for reversing its effects. With their guidance, Dawn's Embrace worked tirelessly to develop a plan to restore the planet's atmosphere and bring back the sun. The prospect of seeing the first sunrise in years filled the group with determination and renewed purpose. The final push. With their newfound allies, Dawn's Embrace embarked on the most challenging endeavor of their lives. They created a massive device capable of generating and releasing energy on an unprecedented scale. It was a complex and risky undertaking, but the hope of seeing a sunrise once more spurred them on. After months of tireless work and unwavering dedication, the day of reckoning arrived. The device was ready, and the group prepared to unleash its energy into the atmosphere. As the countdown began, they held their collective breath, hoping against hope that their efforts would not be in vain. The moment of truth came, and the device released its energy into the darkened sky. It was a breathtaking spectacle as the energy collided with the shrouded atmosphere, igniting a cascade of colors that painted the heavens. The group watched in awe as the darkness receded, and the first rays of the sun broke through. Tears of joy and relief flowed freely as they witnessed the return of light. The members of Dawn's Embrace huddled together, embracing one another, and gazing at the sky as it transformed from inky black to shades of blue and orange. The world had been reborn, and hope had triumphed over despair. Epilogue. In the years that followed, the world slowly began to heal. Dawn's Embrace had accomplished what seemed impossible, to bring back the sun and the warmth it provided. The survivors, along with their astronaut allies, worked together to rebuild their world, this time with a newfound appreciation for life's fragility and resilience. The support group that had started in a dimly lit shelter had become a symbol of hope and inspiration. Dawn's Embrace continued to meet, not as a necessity, but as a choice. Their stories of struggle, motivation, and inspiration had spread far and wide, touching the hearts of people across the globe. As they gazed at the sunrise each day, they remembered the darkness they had endured and the journey that had led them to this point. The story of Dawn's Embrace became a legend, a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the power of unity. Theirs was a story of survival, resilience, and hope in the face of insurmountable odds, a story that would inspire generations to come. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Rising from the Ashes. A journey of resilience and hope. In a world still scarred by the aftermath of a devastating global disaster, a group of survivors found strength in each other and created a support network that would become a source of inspiration for all those who crossed their path. They were the embodiment of human resilience, demonstrating that even in the darkest times, the human spirit could soar above adversity. Part 1: The Dawn of Desolation. The sun had set on a world once brimming with life and vitality. The disaster had struck with unrelenting force, taking everything in its path. Cities were reduced to rubble, once lush landscapes turned barren, and the sky, a perpetual shade of gray. Among the survivors who emerged from the rubble, it was clear that this new world required a different kind of strength. The traditional support systems were gone, and people had to rely on each other. One such survivor was Rebecca, a woman in her mid-30s, who had lost her family, home, and sense of purpose. The disaster had left her emotionally scarred, and she found it difficult to find meaning in this desolate world. One day, while scavenging for supplies, she crossed paths with Michael, a man of similar age who had also lost his family. Michael's eyes met Rebecca's as they both reached for a can of preserved food in the ruins of a grocery store. There was a moment of hesitation, but then they decided to share the can. As they sat on a pile of rubble, eating in silence, they realized that they were not alone in their struggles. Both had experienced the same overwhelming loss and grief. They decided to stick together, as they navigated this new world. Their partnership was more than just a survival strategy, it was the spark of hope they needed. They began searching for others like them, people who had lost everything and were trying to piece their lives back together. Part 2: The Birth of a Support Group. As the days turned into weeks and then months, Rebecca and Michael's group grew. It wasn't just about sharing food or shelter, it was about sharing stories, fears, and dreams. They formed a tight, knit community, helping each other heal emotionally as much as they helped each other survive physically. They would sit around a campfire in the evenings, each member taking turns to share their experiences and feelings. The group included people of all ages and backgrounds, each with a unique story of loss and resilience. There was Tom, an elderly man who had lost his wife but found a sense of family within the group. Maria, a teenager who had lost her parents and her sense of security but had found mentorship from Rebecca and Michael. The group soon realized that their emotional support was as crucial as their shared resources. They helped each other cope with trauma and grief. Rebecca, Michael, and others took turns leading discussions on topics like coping with loss and finding hope in darkness. Through these conversations, they discovered that resilience was not a fixed trait but something that could be nurtured and strengthened. Part 3: The Pursuit of Purpose. As time passed, the group faced new challenges. They decided to move to a more remote area where they could build a sustainable community. There, they began farming and constructing simple shelters. The act of creating something new helped everyone find a renewed sense of purpose. Tom, who had been a successful businessman in his previous life, used his skills to manage the group's resources and plan for the future. Maria became an avid learner, soaking up knowledge from the surviving books and passing it on to the children. The group started to call her the storyteller. As the community grew, they found more survivors and welcomed them with open arms. The support group became a place for those who had lost everything to regain a sense of belonging. They shared their skills and knowledge, creating a thriving microcosm of the world that once was. The group learned to adapt to their harsh environment, embracing sustainable practices and embracing a simpler way of life. They discovered that, even in the face of unimaginable adversity, there was beauty in simplicity and unity. Part 4: A Beacon of Hope. Word of the resilient community in the remote area spread. Other survivors, struggling to find meaning and hope in their lives, began making the arduous journey to join the group. The support group grew into a small village, a beacon of hope in a world still recovering from the disaster. The village, now self-sustaining, continued to hold support group sessions. They no longer had to discuss immediate survival but focused on long-term resilience. They explored the meaning of life, personal growth, and the importance of compassion and connection in a world forever changed. Rebecca and Michael, who had once been two lonely survivors, now stood at the forefront of a thriving community, inspiring others with their journey of resilience. They had not only survived the disaster but had thrived in its aftermath. The support group had become a symbol of hope for the world. Survivors from near and far came to learn from their experiences. Rebecca and Michael, with tears in their eyes, realized that their work was not done. They began teaching others to nurture resilience, heal from trauma, and find purpose in the face of adversity. Part 5: The Legacy of Resilience. In the years that followed, the world slowly began to heal. The disaster's scars remained, but they were no longer as deep. The support group, now a thriving community, continued to inspire people across the globe. Rebecca and Michael, who had once been two strangers brought together by tragedy, had built a legacy of resilience and hope that transcended generations. The tale of the support group for survivors of a global disaster showed that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could rise from the ashes, stronger and more resilient than ever. They proved that, with the support of a community, the pursuit of purpose, and the power of resilience, people could overcome even the most daunting challenges and create a world filled with hope, compassion, and love. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Please hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button to learn English through watching these kinds of interesting stories daily. Please click on the screen on any video showing on your screen to watch it next. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video till the end.